Hello, everybody, and welcome back to today's edition of News You Can Use. So, today is Tuesday, July 25th. And for those of you who don't know me or aren't familiar with me, my name is Mya Henry. And as usual, I'm here to go over some news that you can use. And here I'm going to go over the latest insights and updates that can truly make a difference in your life and in your business as well. And today I'm going to be going through the most relevant news, trends, topics, and practical tips. That way you guys can use them to stay ahead of the game. So with that being said, let's get started with today's segment. And one of the first things that I want to share with you guys is 6 things that you need to know if you didn't receive a student loan forgiveness email this week. So the Biden administration sent out mass emails this week to more than 800,000 borrowers, notifying them that they could qualify for student loan forgiveness. And the Education Department announced these borrowers would collectively receive nearly $40 billion in student debt relief. But the program that underlies this latest initiative is just getting started. Borrowers who did not receive student loan forgiveness emails could still get one, and those who don't qualify for immediate loan forgiveness could still see significant benefits from the initiative. So the Biden administration approved the nearly $40 billion in student loan forgiveness under a temporary program that's called the IDR account adjustment. The initiative, first announced more than a year ago, was established to address longstanding issues with income-driven repayment programs. So IDR is designed to provide affordable monthly payments to borrowers based on their incomes, along with a safety net in the form of loan forgiveness if borrowers are unable to pay off their balance within 20 or 25 years. Borrowers working in nonprofit or government jobs could receive student loan forgiveness even sooner through the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, which historically has required that borrowers be on an IDR plan. But multiple overlapping issues resulted in many borrowers pursuing IDR and PSLF getting shortchanged. Millions of borrowers were not told that these programs existed, and some were improperly steered into costly forbearances. Administrative problems resulted in borrowers not being credited properly with progress towards student loan forgiveness, and borrowers could unknowingly reset the clock by consolidating their student loans. The IDR account adjustment will allow the Education Department to credit borrowers with time towards student loan forgiveness by counting past loan periods towards IDR and PSLF that previously would have been disallowed. Most past periods of repayment, including prior to consolidation and many earlier periods of deferment and forbearance, can potentially count toward IDR loan forgiveness under the adjustment. Past periods can also count toward PSLF for borrowers who are working in qualifying employment at the time. The 800,000 borrowers receiving student loan forgiveness emails this week will represent the first wave of approvals. The Education Department determined that these borrowers have reached or exceeded the 20 or 25-year threshold for loan forgiveness after the retroactive credit under the IDR account adjustment was applied. And these borrowers are expected to have their loans discharged before student loan payments resume later this summer. Borrowers who have been approved for loan forgiveness can choose to opt out by notifying their loan service before August 13th. More student loan forgiveness is expected as adjustment continues. So the Biden administration has built the IDR account adjustment as a one-time maneuver. And it is in the sense that this is a temporary program that will end. But the Education Department will actually be running the adjustment repeatedly over the course of the rest of the year and also into 2024. That means borrowers who are close to qualifying for IDR student loan forgiveness, but are a few months short, may still receive loan forgiveness under the program when the department runs the adjustment again in another couple of months. The department will initiate the adjustment every month or two through at least the first half of 2024. And borrowers who qualify for student loan forgiveness under the adjustment in subsequent months should be notified. Meanwhile, the Education Department will be processing student loan forgiveness for PSLF borrowers on a rolling basis as they review and approve their related employment certifications. Borrowers who don't qualify for loan forgiveness may now still benefit. Not every borrower will receive immediate student loan forgiveness under the IDR account adjustment. Borrowers may receive retroactive credit towards their 20 or 25-year student loan forgiveness term or toward PSLF, but still be well short of the threshold for loan forgiveness. However, that retroactive credit will still be beneficial for millions of borrowers, potentially shaving off years of repayment and advancing their progress toward eventual debt relief. The Education Department's implementation of the IDR account adjustment is currently prioritizing borrowers who have reached the IDR threshold for student loan forgiveness now. Borrowers who receive IDR credit but are short of their loan forgiveness milestone should receive more specific details about where they stand sometime in 2024. PSLF borrowers should receive notifications of PSLF credit on a rolling basis. Some borrowers seeking loan forgiveness may need to take action. The IDR account adjustment is being implemented automatically for all borrowers with government-held federal student loans. This includes all direct federal loans, as well as some family federal education loan program loans held by the Department of Education. There is no formal application that borrowers must submit to qualify for or benefit from the IDR adjustment. However, some borrowers will need to take action in order to qualify for student loan forgiveness or otherwise benefit from the initiative. And this includes the following. So borrowers with commercially owned FFEL loans and other non-government held federal student loans, such as Perkins, must consolidate them via the Federal Direct Consolidation Program before December 31st of 2023. And others, such as Parent Plus borrowers and those with multiple loans that have significantly different histories, may also want to consider consolidation by that deadline to maximize the benefits available under the adjustment. Borrowers seeking PSLF credit under the IDR account adjustment must complete and submit their employment certification forms before December 31st as well. And borrowers who expect to receive a significant IDR or PSLF credit under the adjustment, but still be short of the threshold for immediate student loan forgiveness, should consider switching to an IDR plan if they're not ready in one as student loan payments resume later this summer. The Biden administration issued comprehensive guidance on the IDR account adjustment in the spring, and borrowers are encouraged to review that guidance, which includes a robust set of frequently asked questions. Another thing is that data glitches could interfere with student loan forgiveness under adjustment. So the Education Department obviously doesn't have the manpower to manually review the accounts of 40 million borrowers as it implements the IDR account adjustment. Instead, the department will be running borrower accounts through computer programs that will automatically count loan periods towards IDR student loan forgiveness. So this method obviously has clear benefits, as implementation will take months rather than many, many years if it were to be done manually. But however, there will inevitably be data errors or system problems that may result in some incorrect determinations. Borrowers who believe they qualify for student loan forgiveness under the IDR account adjustment or determine that certain periods that should have been counted were in fact rejected can request a manual review. So you can submit a complaint via the Federal Student Aid Feedback System or the Education Department's Ombudsman group. So that's that. Another thing that I want to share with you all is how New Yorkers need to earn $75,000 more per year to afford rent, but everything is fine, right? So the national median rent is $1,967 per month, but the rental cost of a one-bedroom apartment in New York City is almost double that, which on average is $3,495 monthly. And given that it's said that you shouldn't spend more than 30% of your total income on your dwelling, that means you'll have to be pulling in a solid six-figure salary to even begin to afford rent in New York City. But how much money is that exactly? So according to a new analysis by the Chamber of Commerce, New Yorkers would need to earn an additional $74,483 per year in order to afford rent for a one-bedroom apartment. The current median yearly income for New York City residents is $65,000, but in order to comfortably be able to pay the median rent for just a one bedroom, they would need to earn an income of $139,000. Based on the current median rent, which is $3,495, New York City residents can expect to pay an average of $41,940 total per year on rent, according to the analysis. So this study also took a closer look at the true cost of rent in cities across the country by determining how much yearly income is needed in order to afford a one-bedroom rental in each city. And the study included the median rent for a one-bedroom apartment, as well as the median income in more than 120 cities. The study also included a breakdown of rent ratio differences by gender. So in New York City, the male rent to income gap comes in around 72,000, while women would need to earn an extra 76,624 just so they can be able to make ends meet. So yes, if it makes you feel any better, the data didn't reveal that this problem is only relegated to New York City, because in Miami, renters would need to earn $120,000 per year for a one-bedroom apartment, which is $78,713 higher than the city's median income. So people in Boston would also need a hefty jump. So from a median income of 72,000 to 106,000. And people in San Diego, which needs an income boost of 66,000 to 101,000. And across the river, residents of Jersey City would be better able to afford the 2,574 median rent for a one bedroom if they were ranking in 102,000 instead of the average of 76,000. So this is just more evidence that people aren't making the amount of money that is needed in order to comfortably afford living. So that's just something that you guys should think about. And getting into this is how people are stuck in their jobs and they can't leave for better gigs, right? So some of these workers are grumpy staying in their jobs because they're stuck in roles that don't feel like the right fit for them. So the Great Resignation didn't deliver for all, and a cooling labor market makes the job hunt harder than what it already is. But those workers don't need to be grumpy. Employers can engage with them and listen to it, right? But I'm going to share with you guys a story of Jose Gonzalez. So Jose Gonzalez, he has a job, but he's not happy about it. But how many people do you know that aren't happy with their current job, right? So this isn't anything new. So his new, more prestigious IT position hasn't been everything that he thought it would be. So he's busy doing work all day and he's disengaged from his team and from his work. So he finds going into the office even more depressing than working from home. So Gonzalez says that there doesn't seem to be really good jobs out there except for the unattainable or the menial. So yeah, he feels very grumpy. So he's one of the country's grumpy stayers. So grumpy stayers are workers who are reluctant and they're staying in and they're staying put in a cooling labor market. Grumpy stayers are in some ways the next iteration of quiet quitters, rattled by layoffs and fewer opportunities. Can't skate by anymore or be as vocal about their discontent, but they also don't want to stay. So Gonzalez isn't alone. Some of these workers say that they hopped into better roles that didn't end up being what they signed up for. And others lament missing out on the great reshuffle, in which a wave of people traded up jobs until they were happy. Some see their job prospects hindered by unnecessary degree or certification requirements, while others say companies are prioritizing perks over actual career advancement. These factors have combined to create a situation where many workers feel stuck. The Great Resignation was supposed to help them gain more power, more money, and more benefits, but that hasn't worked out as it was planned. So now, as the labor market cools, conditions are ripe for grumpy stayers to get even grumpier. So Gonzalez says that I'm pretty much stuck here doing this work. I was talking to an acquaintance of mine who's a recruiter, and he's telling me summer is the slow time. There are no jobs. Filtered out from jobs that might make them happy. So grumpy stayers come in many forms. Some, like Gonzalez, shuffled into jobs that weren't as good as a fit as they hoped. And others, like Elizabeth, who's a barista in Massachusetts, have found themselves spinning in the same role for years. So Elizabeth, she's been at her company for 18 years. And she said she'd been staying at her role out of inertia. So she's been job hunting for a year and even just for a second part-time job, but to no avail. So she says that I can't find anything that pays more or even what I'm making that doesn't require me to be certified or have a degree in something that I don't. And recently, she's found herself tipping over the grumpy edge. She figured that she'd never be able to get a higher paying position without spending time in a management role. So when an opportunity to move into a management position arose, she applied. But after she got passed over for the role, she started having panic attacks at her work. She said that at one point she almost walked out, but found herself sitting on the floor and crying instead. How crazy is that? A whole breakdown at work. And now Elizabeth is currently on leave from work. So she's saying that it's both causing and exacerbating a lot of her problems. But at the same time, that job is how she gets paid leave and mental health care and all of that good stuff. That's part of the golden handcuffs problem. So clearly, she's depending on her job. Elizabeth is far from the only person that's facing this same situation. So Erica Groshen, who's a senior economics advisor at Cornell University, said that many people who didn't change jobs have seen a lot of their more mobile colleagues go off and get likely to be in a better position where they're getting higher pay and higher benefits, or some otherwise more attractive jobs. So in other words, grumpy stayers might be feeling left behind with salaries lagging behind those of their peers who've departed. Companies' actions are also helping drive the trend, Roshan said. Specific degree or credential requirements were keeping capable workers from getting jobs, even at a time when firms still have plenty of job openings and an appetite to hire. And there's no room for improvement, which is a theme across grumpy stayers, is that they don't want to be grumpy, but they feel like their work conditions make them that way. So those who were interviewed said that they yearn for an advancement or enrichment at work, a way to convince their employers not to look externally for new hires and to instead give them more opportunities. Employer provided trainings is one of the ways we help demand and supply match up better, Groshin said. And if employers need something, she also added that they can take their staff of workers who they know and that they can provide them with the skills that are needed rather than just laying off those workers and seeking them on the outside market. One worker in the energy sector in Texas described making several attempts to move up in their company or take on a different role only to be dismissed. They said that they were planning to stick around for a few months, then switch careers. The only thing that's keeping them in their current role is the fact that it's mostly remote. Gonzalez is facing a similar frustration. So in reality, he'd love to be learning more about artificial intelligence and new technologies, but he's found himself relegated to helping patch up 20-year-old software. And grumpiness often means that they're feeding on their value. One solution would be for companies to engage with their grumpy stayers and to lean more on their expertise to solve problems, says Groshin. They probably know a lot more about flaws and how to prevent them and how to coordinate with other parts of the operations than they're given credit for, she said. In the meantime, Gonzalez is trying to work through his frustrations in a healthy way. So he also stated that he quit smoking and he got himself a little dog. That way he can just spend his time walking his dog. And that's his way of trying to get through this in a healthy way. So the question is, are you a grumpy stayer? And I feel like one of us that are here listening to this or watching this, we know someone who's a grumpy stayer. So it's crazy to me how we actually have people who are out here who are having breakdowns at the job that they hate because they feel like they can't leave. But in reality, that's not true. So here at our company, we offer everybody an ability to start working with us and to get into business for themselves and to start making a consistent income to where eventually they can fire their boss and never have to look back. Now, how cool would it be to fire your boss because you leveled up in a way that wouldn't have been possible for you at that job that you hate so much? And another thing I feel like people need to understand is that you don't have to settle, right? So if you want time freedom here, working with us, you can create that. If you want to work from the comfort of your home, here you can have that. If you want to have income that allows you to live beyond comfortably, here you can do that. And all it takes is just a very simple yes to get started. So to anyone who is interested, of course, never hesitate to reach out because it's truly never too late to take control of your life and take control of your destiny. So with that being said, I hope that this segment was helpful. And of course, share this video with somebody that you care about or someone you know that would benefit from this video or from this work opportunity. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be sure to see you guys in the next video.